Hello, and welcome to Excel Highway, your trusted source for all things Excel and Google Sheets. If you're struggling with managing your cleaning business staff schedule, this video is for you. I recently worked with a cleaning company and built an optimized system using Google Sheets to streamline their daily operation and administrative processes. Today I'm excited to share the features of part of that system with you in this video series. In today's video, I'll show you how to create a comprehensive system for scheduling your employees, checking the schedule, and emailing them next week's schedule. The schedule will highlight when employees are double booked, working above their max capacity hours, and much more. Let's dive into the file. As mentioned before, the system is built in Google Sheets, which is free and easy to use with just a Gmail account. I'll start by showing you the end result so you can see how it looks in the team's schedule sheet. So once you update the cell in B1, the schedule will automatically adjust for that week. Now you can even automate this by using a function like today plus 7, and you can see that the table shifts and changes with the date. Now I'll bring it back to the date that I have some information, and you can see that what's nice here is that the table will auto adjust so it looks nice and easy to read. That is done with an app script, which I'll show you later. On the right you can see the employee summary, so each employee, how many shifts, hours, and if there's an issue with the max capacity. On the table itself, it's going to highlight employees that are double booked. So Bob is scheduled for 2 jobs at the same time. And you can see if you decided to use a temp, so just make sure that you get a person from the temp agency. And you see it here above on the notifications. You also have the employee schedule that's built for one employee with the buttons. So does that sound like something you can use? So stick around and I'll show you how to build it step by step. Let's start with the staff list sheet. So in the staff list sheet, this is where you set up your employees. Columns A through D are columns that you fill in manually, so you have your cleaner ID, their name, their email, and the max weekly hours. And you can see I've added a temp, so this would be your temp agency connection and no limit to their hours. That's why I put 999. Columns E through K are used to signal which days those people are going to work, because sometimes you have people that are working part-time or not, up to you. So just a simple checkbox. If you don't know how to do that, click any cell, data validation, add rule, drop down, go all the way to checkbox, and use the custom fields, and that's it. You have a checkbox. Okay, I'm going to delete that, and I've created these blank rows up to here so you have room for more employees. Now what I want to do is why I built this working days option is I want to be able to select only employees that can work in specific days. So over here on the right, I have a function that I'm using filter. So filter column B whenever column E equals true, because a checkbox that's marked is true by default. Okay, if you don't change the default definitions. And then I just move that along, $signs on B, and just move that along. So I get a short list of people that work every day. You see I have a header here, so I use the name of the weekday plus the staff. Now what we need to do is create dynamic name ranges so we can use these for our drop-down lists in the job scheduling sheet. To do that, I'm going to click on data, named range, and you can add a range, but I'll show you what I did. So I just called it name of the day, like Friday, and list, and just selected from P3 all the way to the last row, And you can see that same thing for each and every column. And that's how I have 7 named ranges for each day of the week. Once you set that up, you can move on to the next sheet, which is where you will mostly work and just adding jobs and assigning employees. That's the job schedule. So in the job schedule, columns A through J are basically manual inputs plus 2 functions here in gray. So I have the job ID, the date of the job, the start and end date, time. Calculating the hours, it's the delta times 24 because this is um, format, and this I want this to be hours as a number. Okay, it's easier for me to work with that. That's why I'm multiplying by 24. That's 4.5 hours. The client name, address, and the service type. This could be a drop down or whatever you want, and the price. The working day, I'm going to use text for the date, so I have the working day, so I know it's a Monday, Tuesday, whatever. Then I want to show you over here to the possible staff. This is where the magic, quote unquote, happens. So I'm going to use indirect for the name of the day plus the name list. So that's going to basically reference the named range that I created. I'm going to also use transpose and if error blank. And that's just basically going to give me the options for whatever I have over here, right? It's going to just transpose that. Okay, and just in a very simple way, and put that on the last column of your file, so no matter how many rows you have over here is going to work. And if I now remove temp from Monday, then it's gone, and if I add temp, it immediately appears. You don't have to do anything. So that's pretty cool. Now the selection, which you see is going to be different for each day. You don't see it very well, but like here. So here I have only 3 options. Okay, and here I have 6 or 7. Okay, you understand. So how does that work? Very simple. Click on data, data validation, and the drop down from arrange option, and you just select, and you see I selected from R through age. I exaggerated, so the entire row, but just don't have dollar signs. So that makes it dynamic, and you just copy that all through the last column. See, even over here. It says Allison temp, because this is Saturday, because this has no date. I could change the formula so it doesn't show anything, but not really very important. So that's how you build a very nice dynamic employee option. You do see that some of the cells are red. They are red because this person is double booked. So you're going to see it immediately. You can do conditional formatting. I'm going to reference Q. That's where I have the formula, which I'll show you soon. If that's greater than 1, then color it in red. All right, so that's just a quick way to see it. Notes, manual input, job status. I gave a few options here, and you can, of course, play with it. Again, data validation, I gave 2 options, scheduled and done, with different colors. You can have more if you want. And column N, I have a drop-down list I'm going to use for the bookkeeping sheet. You have a few options. Again, it doesn't have a lot of impact. You can play with it as you wish. Columns O and P are used to build the text that will appear over here. I wanted to make it very simple and user-friendly, so you can control what you see here using these 2 columns. And you can see I am referencing information from that row. In this case, I want to show for the team text, I want to show who the employee is, all right, who was assigned, start and end hour, because it's going to show in a specific date, right, in a specific column. I don't need the date. And also I'm going to show which location, and if I have a double booking, if Q2 is greater than 1, I'm going to show the text double booked. That way I can conditional format it. And you see chart 10, that's basically a new line in Excel. So that's gonna, you can see I have a new line even though I can, it's always going to be a new line no matter how many spaces I have. For the employee text, I'm just going to use, I don't need the name of the employee because it's the same one. And I also added the job type or the service type. You can play with it, of course, and this is what you're going to use. How do I calculate if it's a double booking or not? I'm going to use a count ifs. So I am checking column B, which is the date, if it's the same date. I'm checking column K, if it's the same person. And then I'm checking column C, if the from is equal or less than my from, meaning it started before this line. And also if column D is greater than when I want to start, meaning I'm looking for cases, other lines where I have the same employee, the same date, but the start date is before my start date and the end date is after my start date. So that just means that I have an overlap. Okay? Which is exactly what you see for Alice over here. And I'm going to use that for this and for the other sheets. So that is the job schedule. This is where you're going to use the system most of the time, inputting information, selecting who's going to work on it. Okay, so you add the dates, and you can just select who's going to work on it. Okay, see now it's a Monday. So that's your main sheet. Let's go to the employee schedule. So the employee schedule, this is where you can select a date. Okay, so it can be any date. It could be today if you want. As I showed you before, once you do that, the entire schedule should change. Okay, in this case we're Saturday, so it's still the same week as we had before. But if you say show me always next week, I don't have any job scheduled here, but if I did, let's just add one. Just add quickly, even the same job. And sorry, I'll put Alice here so we see it. So you're immediately going to see the job for Alice, and of course bringing it back, and you see that the rows and the columns auto adjust to make it look nice. I achieved that using AppScript. If you click on extensions, AppScript, you're going to reach this area over here. And I used ChatGPT to build this automation. Basically, it's an on edit. So whenever you make a change in specific sheets, either team schedule or employee schedule, and you change a specific cell, B1 or B2, in this case there's 2 cells. In team schedule there's 1 cell. So if you make changes over there, it will auto fit the entire sheet. You can see this is how it's built, and again, this is built with ChatGPT. Very easy to do with some prompts and some checking, and I just built it there, so I'm not going to walk you through the code. I didn't build it. So that's how that works for here and for here as well. If there's a double booking, before that, sorry, let's take a look at all the functions that we have here. So select employee, that's data validation from the staff list. That's the entire staff list that you have, so you can select. I don't want to select someone that doesn't exist, so you select that person and the rows and columns move. Number of shifts, that's a count ifs. I'm using count ifs on the job schedule for a specific person. Okay, looking for a specific person, column K. Where's that? Column K equals B2, and the range. So column B, that's the date of the job. It has to be greater than the start of the week and less or equal to the end of the week. Same for sum ifs. It's the same thing, same filtering, just to have the sum ifs in the beginning with the column E to summarize the hours. That's why I wanted the times 24 because it's easier to work that way. Max hours, that's a VLOOKUP for that person over here. All right, I get his maximum hours. Above max, checking yes, no, and this is colored in red automatically. The double booked header over here, that checks, again, this is a pretty complicated function, but you use some product is number searched, whatever text that you're searching for, whatever range you're looking for, because I'm looking for contained, not equal, because I want to see if it contained or not. If this number is greater than 0, show this text, otherwise blank. And I also color it in a specific color. Coloring is used with format conditional formatting. I have two, so if text contains temp, color it purple, and if it contains double booked, color it this way, orange peachy, which is the same conditional formatting for the entire table. That is the part over here. Email is also a VLOOKUP, and the email subject is job schedule plus text for the start and end date, because I just want it to be a nice schedule like this. Maybe it should be with an arrow like this. Then we have the start date, which is B1 minus weekday B1, 2. That will give me the Monday of that week. And then just +1 until Sunday. Text will return the day of that date. To return the jobs for that person, I'm going to use filter. So filter column P, which is that special column that I created for that employee text. And then I'm going to check if the job itself, the employee is in B2, that's the name, and if the job schedule is equal to that date, because I have each day its own set of rows. So that is how I created this table. Now I have two buttons here, to send one email or to send all the staff. So if I send one email, then David at company.com will get an email with a subject job schedule and he's going to see this nice table in his email. If I click send all the staff, it's going to loop through all the people and send each of them their own schedule. Let's take a look at how it looks. I click on send one email, get this message, running script, finish script. I go to my sent items. Let's refresh it. All right, I got an email sent to David, named job schedule. Hi David, here's your weekly schedule, and you can see the days and whatever he has. Please confirm the schedule by tomorrow. If I click send all the staff, then you can see the names change here. And then if I go back to sent, I start seeing messages all around. If I refresh it, probably see all of them. Yep, it says there you see Alice, Bob, Charlie, David, 2 emails, Sam and temp. Each one is going to have a different schedule, different locations. That's the second email for David. So that's how you get that email to that person without, manually doing that, which could save you a lot of time. These two were also built in AppScript. I also built them with ChatGPT. The second one, to loop all staff, I'm just using a loop where it takes that name from the staff list, pastes it every time here in the B2. That automatically changes everything, and then I just call the function, which is to send an email. Again, using some prompt ChatGPT and some checks, I built this to work to my satisfaction. Team schedule. The team schedule sheet is where you see all the shifts you've scheduled for the week, as well as any issues on the team level. Here I use the same method that you saw here. So the jobs themselves are filter. You have the date, you have the start date. The selecting the date, of course, will also change just like before. So if I change the date, oh, sorry, that's not a date. If I change to March, I just have one line that I added. Of course, this could also be with today. So that's going to show you the information, and again, it's going to auto adjust. Here on top of the temp and double booked, I also am showing this message if there are more employees that are over their max capacity. So I'm counting column M, which is the summary, which I'll show you in a second. If how many yeses do I have over there? If it's greater than 0, then use that number plus this text and color it red, of course. And if I have, I'll change it and you'll see it goes away. Temp and double booked is looking for a specific phrase and coloring it so you know that you have a temp here and all these are double booked and you need to adjust your schedule. Let's take a look at the summary. So summary, I'm gonna use filter for specific range, right? I want to filter the names that appear in the jobs, and then I'm going to use unique and sort. Okay, so it's sorted alphabetically and unique. Number of shifts and total hours, exactly like we saw before. If we look up to show the max hours, and above with a yes, that is your total summary. So just to show you, if I go now to my staff list, and let's say Alice can work 25 hours, now I only have 2 employees over the max. And if I say, okay, Bob, you're going to work 32 and it's agreed upon, now I have only 1 person. And for Sam, let's say it's 45, and now I don't have a message at all. And of course, the reason here is he's also double booked. So if you want to fix double booking, for example, you can see that shift for the 28th. You don't even have to look there. You can see over here. So Alice cannot work. Maybe Bob. No, so let's use a temp. Then if I go to team schedule, now this changed into temp. Okay, and I only have 1 employee which is overbooked, which is Sam now. And so I can keep going in the job schedule. Charlie doesn't work. I can add a person. Let's say I add a person called Steve. Let's take that. Let's say I added a person. Steve works 30 hours a day, and he's a team player working every day, 45 hours. Go back to the schedule where I had issues. I'm just going to use Steve because he's probably not overbooked any day. You can, of course, also filter by color if you want and see all those red people. Hopefully that clears everything. I don't want to filter. I do have issues now with Steve. I'll use a temp here. I'll use Sam. I'll use David. No, not working. Let's take a look. Anyway, you can see now I only have 1 line. That's for David. For a Friday. So let's add someone to Friday. Let's say Alice is going to help me here. We should be okay now. Team schedule. I still have a problem with Sam with his hours. So I can go over here and ask him to work more hours. And now my schedule is okay. I do have 3 temp positions. Maybe I can change them now. But regardless, now I have a schedule and I'll be able to send them to specific people or to the entire staff. So that is the team schedule. Lastly, I have a bookkeeping sheet, which is sort of a preview of what can be done in more, extended financial features here. But here I'm just selecting a payment status. That's just a reminder for me. Who do I need to send an invoice? So it's just a simple filter for specific columns. based on the job schedule equaling, the payment status. So these people need to send an invoice. These people have an invoice sent, so I should expect to get paid from them. These people paid me and I need to send a receipt. And these people are basically done and I don't need to track them anymore. I've paid them, send a receipt, and they're good. All right, that's it. By following these steps, you'll have your own employee scheduling system built in Google Sheets. It's fully automated and customizable to meet the needs of your cleaning business with team schedule, employee schedule, specific job schedule. You can add columns, you can make changes, you can do whatever you want. It's really flexible Google Sheets. I hope this video helped you save time and improve your scheduling process. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to stay updated on new content. Leave a comment. I read and respond to every one of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.